Adenike Adebayo. I'm a businesswoman, an engineer in the construction industry. Good question. I lived in the United States and I decided to relocate to Nigeria. Luckily, I live in Akobo and I started making research about schools that my children would go to because I brought all of them with me. And Valencia was the first school I visited. I met the owner, Mr. Morakinyo. We had a little conversation from his approach and everything he was saying in our discussion. I knew right away that my children would be in the best hands. And besides, it's not far from my house, and the facility, the education. I read a lot about the school too. After I visited for the first time, it took me a week to make my decision. And since then, all my children have attended Valencia. A lot of experiences. Number one, the teachers, a lot of them or most of them that taught my children, they didn't just treat them like students. They took them like their own. They had personal relationships with them in terms of helping them with their academics. A lot of them would take their time to make calls, to make, if they have any kind of observations, whether positive or negative. But at the most important thing is observations that will help me know the performance of my children and where they need to improve on. There was a time my son, Abdugani, with his music teacher, Mr. Peter, back then, I can't remember the year, he was taking music classes in school. From there, he developed interest in playing saxophone, and we bought it, and Mr. Peter was able to come home. I had an agreement with him, of course. He would take his time to come home to teach him how to play sax. And on my 40th birthday, my son actually presented. That was a moment for me. And things like that. There's so many examples. In regards to the academic, I'm very impressed because Mr. Morakinyo himself, he has a lot of passion. He teaches some subjects in school, physics, I believe, and I think maths. So for me, that's a big deal. And the children, they always come home with homework. They do projects that even as a parent, you have to be involved. And anytime you have issues, you reach out to the teachers or people in the administration. They are always willing to help. So that's a big factor for me, and I'm very pleased with that. Of course, he has grown to be a very responsible child, and he takes ownership of whatever he's doing, which of course I think those qualities helped him and led him to become the senior boy or senior prefect for the school during his term. Very, very helpful even in the house, and he tries anything you ask him to do, he will try to see if he can resolve it. He's a problem solver. If he has to go online to research how to get something done, he would do it. Mommy, don't worry, let me just try. By the time you come back, don't worry, we'll get it fixed. Even when he's not around, when he goes back to his college, I'll really, really miss him. Overall experience, I'm very pleased. In fact, I try to encourage a lot of people abroad, or some people are considering to relocate home and they are concerned about maybe education and things like that. The overall experience is very okay. Even the tuition fees is not what people really think it is. A lot of people think Valencia tuition fees in the millions and all of that. And I was like, no, I have 3 children and I pay less than $1 million for their tuition. Of course, they are not in boarding house. Even with the boarding house, my daughter, when she was taking NECO, she tried to stay in the boarding house for the summer, and my son as well, when they were preparing for WAEC, they were in the boarding house for the summer, and it was a very good environment for them. The feeding, their house mistresses, it was a very good experience because I would go there sometimes to visit them. They really took care of them, the feeding, and the most important thing for them is the success of the students, and they do everything in their power to make sure they succeed. We would also go for one-on-one meeting with the teachers. So overall experience, I would say Valencia. If I have to do it all over again, I'll pick Valencia. Of course, many. Number one, it really amazes me. With their end of the year party, and the school takes time to do it in a very classy and big way by using the International Conference Center. And I guess the reason why they do that is because it really gives them the opportunity to showcase and reward their students for good academic year. A lot of vendors come around, and a lot of the students, so many of them that go home with gifts. In addition to the end of the year parties, it's so comfortable enough that the parents will spend the whole day there. So if it wasn't a comfortable environment, people would just drop their kids and leave. But we all spend the whole day with them during the end of the year party. Then Olympics. The last one we did at Adama Masingba Stadium. For me, it was so huge. Parents, teachers, everybody was involved. The students, they did well. I know, we are ruling for Valencia University. It will be so nice. My children, they started from, I had one that started from crèche and he's in JS2 now. My son started from, I think, primary 1 and till he finished. So it would be nice for some children to be Valencia breed right from inception, from crèche till university. I mean, that would be very nice, and I think it will happen. With the rates at which we are going, I won't be surprised within the next 15-20 years. That would be very, very nice. And I think Valencia is even one of the best schools in Nigeria. I'm very serious. We have people coming from Abuja, from Lagos, Kano. Alaafin Oyo's children, they were my daughter's classmates at some point. A lot of people. We are willing for that. Maybe later our grandchildren would also attend Valencia again.